Another great day for Buffs football. We're going to be talking about Kaden Salter, getting into some of the special teams indications that we got yesterday from practice. And of course, taking any of your questions and comments. Guys, thanks for chiming in. We already got Psycho Seminole in the house. Please be sure, smash that like, subscribe. That makes a world of a difference for the channel, guys. Really do appreciate your support and engagement. But let's go ahead and get started. So I wanted to lead this video off talking about the quarterback competition, of course, between Kaidon Salter as well as Julian Lewis. Now, I think pretty much the majority of people, myself included, expecting Kaidon Salter to be that guy going into the year. Now, I have been kind of thinking that we'd see a two-quarterback system at some point in some respect throughout this season. I still expect Julian Lewis to play. Now, Russ kind of calmed my nerves when it came to that last week, but we saw some interesting indications earlier this week with Uncle Neely and DNVR earlier this week. I think it was on Monday, talking about the quarterback competition. And Neely kind of used this word, and maybe even Jake did as well, talking about separation. Kaden Salter starting to create separation between himself and Julian Lewis. Now, some of this had to do with the fact that they revealed that Julian Lewis also missed some time due to being sick. And when that happens, there's naturally going to be some separation. But I think everything is kind of indicating, and I think that this is good news because this is what's expected, that Kaden Salter is going to be that guy coming into the year. And you're already starting to see, again, see you posting some nice highlights. I mean, how can you not love this stuff? Look at this dime here from Kaden Salter to one of the fall camp standouts, former Fighting Camel from Campbell. Sorry, I need a sip of my protein shake. But love to see Salter just continuing to establish himself, get more comfortable. And then it was great to see a few days ago him giving a speech to the team. This was awesome.
Hey, work on two. 1, 2. Work.
All right. No, sorry about that.
Hey, man.
Play it again.
Start now, bro. Everybody say they want to make it to that Big 12 championship. That start at practice. So we got to go out and eat every day. Eat every day. You see your mama leaving your house when you had to go to school at 6 in the morning. Okay. For times like that, you know what I'm saying? Let's go eat every day. Every day. Hey, work on two. 1, 2. Work.
Yeah, I think throughout the videos that we've seen from, Reach the People, Well Off Media, it just seems like, Kaden Salter pretty much fully has established himself as that quarterback one. And again, I always kind of try and read deeper into what guys connected to the program are trying to say over at DNVR and with Uncle Neely with the pregame show. And I think that this is a wonderful indication. Now, again, what are we kind of expecting from Kaden Salter? I think that there's the opportunity for him to put up over 4,000 all-purpose yards. I think that there's the opportunity for him to break the all-purpose record set by Shedeur last year because he's a true dual threat. I think that there's the possibility where you could see him rush for over 1,000 yards. Now, he ran for almost 600 yards last year at Liberty. Again, much less efficient year last year working with the Flames. But in 2023, when he had some dynamic talent around him, you saw him put up almost 4,000 all-purpose yards, 2,800, almost 2,900 passing yards on a good completion percentage, 61%. Then you see rushing, averaging almost 7 yards a carry, 12 touchdowns. I mean, goodness, 44 total touchdowns in 2023. And I know the college quarterback rating is like different, but had a great rating, 176.6. Phenomenal stuff. So again, seeing him develop a rapport with Sincere Brown, I think that's always like, to me, that's playing with house money. You have a guy come up here from FCS and he is just looking the part. That's bonus money to me. And you're surrounding him with an AAC offensive freshman of the year last year in JoJo Williams, Omari Miller, coming back now for his true junior year. You have Draylon Miller. Seems like he's going to have a bigger role in the offense, which I love to see. Of course, get him all the stuff that's close to the line of scrimmage, all those kind of quick developing routes, right? Concepts. But you're also starting to see him run more routes downfield, which, again, as long as he continues to develop as a route runner, he's going to be incredibly dangerous and dynamic. And so I don't necessarily see this as like a bad thing for Julian at all. This is kind of what I expect. And you want Julian to come in here as an incredibly talented 17-year-old kid with no pressure on him. No pressure on him. And hopefully get in game situations this year to where, again, we're not putting too much on him too early. I would love to see him at minimum making sure that he's getting in against Delaware. He's getting in against Wyoming. Maybe some other Big 12 teams. There's not a lot of bad Big 12 teams, but maybe getting in against Houston. And, hopefully we're blowing out some of these teams so he can come in the fourth quarter. But I think it's going to be more something similar to maybe less like Tim Tebow and Chris Leak, which I was talking about like a couple weeks ago, right? I think it's going to be something more similar to what we saw with Arch Manning in his freshman year, where, again, content to sit, develop, learn, and then when there's opportunities throughout the year, get in there. And I think that's best, for this team. So, again, I think that's a good way to go about this. I do not like the idea of like a straight up 2 quarterback system in that way. And taking what Uncle Neely and DNVR guys, those guys were saying on Monday, I think it sounds like that's the direction everything's like going in, which I think is good. So again, there's nothing wrong with sitting and learning for a little bit. And it seems like Julian Lewis, based on what he has said as well, he's perfectly content to do that. And again, credit to everybody on the staff and in the locker room. I think that this is a tight-knit, unified group. They all support each other, and including the quarterback. Shout out to Ryan Staub as well. He has also been an incredibly supportive teammate. And I love to see that his role is just helping, getting Julian Lewis, Kaden Salter, these guys ready. And then, hey, if his number ever has to be called, he's going to be ready. But I love what we're seeing out of Ryan Staub, just helping develop, being a part of the community around Julian Lewis and getting this guy ready. So to me, this is wonderful news. Again, I've kind of been going back and forth on, how much I thought and think Julian Lewis is going to play this year. But I think, like, all things considered, this is how you want things to go. Because next year it's going to be Julian's show. He's going to be in the offense, working with Byron Leftwich again for another year. Yeah, hopefully Byron Leftwich stays here long term. I think that would be phenomenal. But I have said this time and time again, let Kaden Salter do his thing. He's ready for this. He's taken college hits. He's going into his final year. And we remember, like, when Shador was coming up from Jackson State, he was putting up unreal numbers too. And he made the jump phenomenally. You've seen Cam Ward, all these guys come up from the G5 or FCS level. These guys can make the jump seamlessly. And I think that Kaden Salter is going to be able to do that. I think that this is the most talent, that he's ever had. And while I'm feeling much better about our offensive line, and Coach Prime is too, uh, it's always ideal to have a guy around there that can make something out of nothing. Or if there's a broken play or a missed assignment, you're not totally screwed. He's got the athleticism to get away from pass rushers at the college level. And as you have seen from his highlights, I'll have to put out another Kaden Salter rushing highlight reel. Hopefully this time that doesn't get taken down due to copyright. What is going on, guys? But man, this man can rush for 1,000 yards this year. We're talking about 83 rushing yards a game. Some of those by designed runs, some of those, of course, scrambling out of passing plays. I think that there's a great chance that he could actually lead our team in rushing. I think it could happen. Now, as Psycho Seminole saying, it is bold. Yes, it is bold, but I don't see it as impossible. I do not. As long as he stays healthy, I think it's totally reasonable. Now, he did that pretty much over at Liberty a couple years ago. Now, can he do it 2 years later at the Big 12? We'll have to see. I think he'll have a better supporting cast. We'll have to see. So that's Kaden Salter. I'm going to get to some of your questions and comments here in just a minute. Y'all be sure to smash that like, subscribe, and check out Buff Blitz tonight with me and Russ at 7 p.m. Mountain. So there'll be a link out for that. Hit the bell. And I got some great things coming to the channel, guys. None of this happens without y'all. Y'all make this fun, okay? Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was special teams. It was very cool to see Quintin Gibson get some time with the media as a true freshman yesterday for Special Teams Day. Does that not tell you that something big is in store for Quintin Gibson this year? And I'm not talking about like 1,000 yards or, something crazy like that leading the team in the receiving. But if you're going to be getting playing time as a true freshman, that is substantial in whatever capacity it is. And you saw special teams coach Michael Pollock get up there and say, we really like Quinn returning. Now, maybe not so much to start off with punting, which is what he was saying, but punt returning. You want to make sure he's in games to where he's in situations to where he's confident. It's paraphrasing for Coach Pollock. He said, we really like him on kick return. And we also got some other guys that can do it, such as DeKalen Taylor. I would absolutely love to see him start out returning punts. We also have guys like Isaiah Harge, who he's like my dark horse contributor of the year, like similar to like Taj McCoy last year, I think, surprising some people with his contributions on the team, on the defense last year. That's kind of how I see Isaiah Harge this year on the offense, kind of like an unsung hero type of guy, Isaiah Harge. But you got plenty of speed. Quintin Gibson wanting to live up and be that next LeJontay Wester, which he's got the route running ability. And why don't I just do this, guys? Since we're talking about him, why don't I just go and play some of his highlights that I got here so we can enjoy Quintin Gibson, man, while I'm talking about him. But I think, again, Coach Prime just doesn't put any true freshman up there in front of the mic. It's very clear that Quintin Gibson is earning snaps as a true freshman. I would say when you're putting him in front of the mic, that means like he's not redshirting this year. He's going to be getting snaps on offense. He's going to be getting snaps on special teams. Absolutely. No doubt about it. And I mean, this was a guy who set the Texas State touchdown record. Broke, what was it, CeeDee Lamb's record? Like 40 touchdowns, something insane like that. And this is a guy who's like 5'10". Plays much bigger than his size, much like Jimmy and LeJontay Wester have. Reminds me of, some of my favorite receivers, on the field. Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, partial to Denver, man. I loved Emmanuel Sanders. Steve Smith was built a little bit differently, but I feel like he's got some Steve Smith in him. I'll say that. Man, I cannot wait to see him on the field in an absolute field stretcher. Sincere Brown and Omari Miller, Traylon Miller, these guys are going to be absolute hell for defenses to take account of. And then you're putting Quintin Gibson out there too in 4 wide receiver sets. Come on, man. Come on. I think that he is a 3-star guy, whatever. If he was 6 foot, he would have been a 5-star player. This guy's got 5-star playmaking ability, guys. This is the highest level. This is 6A Texas high school football out of Crowley, Fort Worth. 1 second. That was huge to see him in front of the mic. Again, Coach Prime isn't doing that unless he is absolutely loving what he's seeing from Quinton Gibson, and he's earning trust of the coaching staff. So credit to him coming in as a early enrollee, freshman, getting to work, really buying in from the get-go. And I think he's going to be one of the most fun and exciting players to watch this year, even if it is in a slightly, more limited capacity compared to a guy like Kaden Salter, right? And a starting quarterback. But we have such a depth of athleticism on this team in the ways that we just haven't had it in years past, man. Like, yeah, I do question like kind of where we're at right now with the tight end room when it comes to overall athleticism, but we've even gotten better there too. Linebacker, we've gotten better at. I'm feeling great about where we're at with the offensive line compared to years past. So, yes. Now, there were some other special teams things that I did want to hit on. I believe they mentioned that Mata has only missed 2 field goals throughout all of practice. I love that. And I think he said what? His range is up to 55. That's wonderful and all. If for anything 50 and beyond, we can just put Buchanan out there, man. He hit like a 60-yarder in the spring game, man. We don't need to we can do this kicker by committee thing. Have Buchanan take the kickoffs, turning them into touchbacks. We should have like 80% and above when it comes to our touchback rate on kickoffs at home. And I'm hoping that we could have like 80% and above, on the road too. That guy's got a big leg. And you heard Adam Munster Tiger and Brian Howell talking about Elliot Arnold as well. Another guy, true freshman, with a big leg. But we don't necessarily need to see him yet with Buchanan and Mata kind of doing their thing. Brian Howell mentioned this. We need Mata to just be money from within 45. That's what we need. Everything else, just have Buchanan take. I like that. So we'll see what happens, but I'm happy to hear that, Mata has been fantastic throughout camp. I think this is the first year, guys, that I don't really have any worry about where we're at with special teams. And we'll see what Damon Graves does too. Also awesome to see Mark Vassett back here with his week off from the CFL. Again, just shows you the type of environment that Coach Prime has built here where guys, this is like family. Remember how all the Miami Hurricanes like used to come back and train and visit like all the time? And I still think they do that to an extent, but like in the 2000s, it was at a whole different level, right? With those guys. I mean, they were putting so many guys in the NFL, high first round picks, right? And they would always go back and train. DJ Williams would always go back and train with like Jonathan Film, all these other guys. And I think we're kind of building that. This is our first like legit draft class that we've had since Coach Prime has been here, and we'll have some other guys drafted this year, I think, as well. So, special teams looking great. Love to see alumni coming back. The vibes are good. Kaden Salter, give him the reins. Seems like he has no doubt established himself as one of the top leaders on this team, and you need him to be vocal. I love how him and the coaching staff, they're establishing the goal from the get-go is to win the Big 12. Absolutely. We saw Arizona State picked last year to go on and dominate, and honestly, man, should have beat Texas in the college football playoff. Why can't we do the same thing? Why can't we do the same thing when we're going to have a true balanced offense and the biggest playmakers, like amount of big playmakers in the Big 12? We got so many guys that can take a 5-yard pass to the house, a handful of guys. I love to see it. So with that being said, we'll get to some of your comments. I'll keep the Quinton Gibson highlights rolling. I hope you guys are really enjoying this. Again, be sure to like and subscribe and check out my show tonight with Russ on the Buff Splits. We'll get to scroll through a few of these. Brandon, what's going on, man? He says Salter's going to continue to do what he did at Liberty, but even better, especially with Byron Leftwich as his coach. And Brandon, you're bringing up, again, a wonderful point. Not only does Kaden Salter have the most talent he has had around him in his college career now at CU, but he's getting the highest level coaching. And it's even like guys like not necessarily dealing with him directly, but I still think he benefits from them, such as like Marshall Faulk being here, like on the offense. Like, I think that's, I think it's tremendous to have him on the staff. I mean, you saw the speech that he was giving the other day to these guys. I love Marshall Faulk here, but no doubtedly, Byron Leftwich is going to help improve these quarterbacks, man. This man has worked with Tom Brady. This man helped save Tom Brady when he went to the Bucs. You know, they didn't start out too hot on offense those first like 6, 7, 8 weeks. And Byron Leftwich, Tom Brady, they did their thing. They adjusted, and then they won a Super Bowl, man. And Byron Leftwich was that play caller. So you got Super Bowl winning experience working with the quarterbacks. How many teams in college football can say that? Not many. Trying to think of another Super Bowl play caller who is in college football right now. Maybe y'all let me know. Salt Bay. I like that nickname. Yeah, Will Bucket said, the stuff I see Byron Leftwich did in a short amount of time with the QBs, seen Shador do with his trainer, we're in good hands, absolutely. Now, Clint Moses saying, give Julian Lewis his opportunities, but don't burn his red shirt. This would be ideal. Wouldn't it be ideal to have 4.5 seasons from Julian Lewis, essentially? And you could play him in the bowl game if you need to. Because remember, that doesn't count towards eligibility anymore. Thank God. So that would be really great. Now, college football playoff, we made the college football playoff. That's a different story. But the goal definitely has to be to win the Big 12 at minimum. At minimum, it's finally winning a freaking bowl game. And it better not be the Alamo Bowl this year. Dennis, I was watching Liberty highlights from last season. Kaden Salter is nasty at quarterback. Yes, he makes big plays. Not the greatest completion percentage from last year, but I am freaking out about that. I've liked what we've been able to see in practice, and you can't deny the big time playmaking ability. And he's going to have guys like throwing one-on-one here to Quintin Gibson. He's going to have guys that are going to be able to get past those back layers of the defense and make big plays, man. And we got all the weapons you'd want. You got guys that can kill them in the short area. You got guys that can get those contested catches. You got guys that can take the top off the defense. Again, you got guys that you can just dump it off to in the flat or in the backfield, and they can take it to the house. Like Trackhawk, like freaking DeKalen Taylor, man. I'm pumped about DeKalen Taylor. One of the guys I'm most excited about. Again, I don't think he'll lead the team in touches, but could he lead our team out of the backfield when it comes to just efficiency, like yards per touch? Absolutely. Went Jones. Salt will have more weapons, better line than his previous team. Now, let's talk about the offensive line. It does seem like there is a legit competition now between Cooper Lovelace and Zarian McGill, who I still think is in the lead for that starting center position. I would imagine we're going to see those guys maybe rotate a little bit. We'll have to see in the season. It seems like Prime is wanting to rotate 8 or 9 guys. I would imagine that's going to be mainly at the interior because I still don't think we have the depth at tackle to rotate at all. So we'll have to see. But I like the fact that we got, like, I'm feeling good. We have a guy go down. I feel like at least with the interior. We got that next man up. Zy Chrysler, Xavier Hill are a godsend, man. And whoever's playing center, they're going to be better because of the guards that they're playing next to. And I don't talk about Jordan Seaton enough. Looking like an all-pro already, man. Looking like an all-American. He's paying attention to the little details. He's talked about how Travis and Shador, Shiloh, like these guys taking care of their bodies, the way they prepared and trained just really influenced him. And now he has taken on that mantle. He's the one helping instill that in the rest of the team. Jordan Seaton, man, he's perfect for this program. And he's very Travis Hunter-like-esque in a way in which he's mature beyond his years. He's talked about, hey, throughout my day, everything is about football. I'm not doing anything that's not benefiting my game every day. The guy is locked in. You've seen his training taken to another level this offseason, like his just how he looks physically with Swayze. You know, he's lost weight, but he's stronger, he's quicker, he's faster. Love it. Gennaro saying, how can we retain 22 moving forward? Ponder should be third on the depth chart. I don't know. To be honest, Gennaro, I'm not really too concerned about where we're at with third and fourth string quarterbacks. I'm not really one like I like seeing the Ponder highlights out there, but I don't necessarily think we need a package for him or really anything like that. I like having him around. He could have left, I guess, this offseason if he wanted to, but he's chosen to stick around. So we must be doing enough to keep him happy. And if he wants to be along for the ride and then, maybe somehow, get his opportunity at some point, that would be great. But I guess I don't really have a strong opinion on Ponder, but I will tell you, these are players that make me wish we had a preseason game or at least a joint practice with Syracuse. Hopefully we can get that next year because, again, we see the plays on the well-off videos, but, obviously those are selected. We didn't really see them much in the spring game, if I remember correctly. It would be good to see them go up against some real competition and see how they perform. Like that's the biggest thing I want to see. So this might not be the answer you were looking for, but how can we retain guys like Ponder on the roster? Hey, it's by doing a joint practice preseason game with Syracuse next year, right? Give these guys the opportunity to shine, man. Hey, D Nice or Chase, what's going on, Chase? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in on X. Again, guys, please be sure come in here on YouTube, join the conversation as well. And when you like the video, I mean, it really does a world, for me and everybody here with Buff Nation. Yo, Dave, thanks for talking. Buff says D Nice. All Salter needs is 3,400 yards passing, 750 yards rushing, 7 or fewer interceptions, no lost fumbles, around 65% completion, and we'll win 10 games. Dude, I'll say that. I'll jump on the board with that. We definitely win 10 games if he's not turning the ball over. I think the biggest thing that we still have to kind of see is just where Kaden Salter's at from a ball security standpoint running the football. He's fumbled 10 times in both of the last 2 seasons, so not necessarily worried about him when it comes to turning the ball over passing-wise. It's just holding on to the ball when he's run the ball. I think that's the biggest concern I have for him, and if there's anything that could put his position at risk as the starting quarterback, it's if he doesn't protect the football. But I have confidence we're going to see improvement from that with him this year. So, man, but I would love it. I think that would put him around striking distance of breaking the all-purpose record, right? I think Shador is like around 4,200 yards, if I remember correctly. I have to see. Yeah, Hakeem, let's go here. Good question here on Hakeem Williams. Let's bring up his Little profile here. What's he been looking like? I mean, I've liked what we've seen, but we haven't really seen too much. I think we're seeing him mainly kind of run with the twos and threes. Again, right now, I think that he is probably behind probably the main guys in that wide receiver group when it comes to Omarion, JoJo, Sincere, Draylon. I think those are kind of the main four. Then after that, it's who knows? And I think Hakeem definitely could still be that fifth or sixth guy, a part of things. I think that he is going to get playing time this year. I definitely see that happening. But I don't see him as a starter right now on the team, which that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, Bezo said, I think he's seen him with the twos and threes this year. I think that's mainly where we've seen him. Yeah, I think he's going to get touches. Yeah, man. Q6, X, Quanell Farrakhan, these guys have already made some big plays. I love to see that contested catch from Quanell Farrakhan going up against RJ Johnson the other day. That was just absolutely beautiful. Love to see it. And it's nice to see Kareem Harden. Seems like he's lost some weight I know you're not talking about Kareem Harden, you're talking about Hakeem, but we'll talk about Kareem Harden in the offensive line right now too. I think that he's looked good. Over at tackle, looks like he's lost a little bit of weight as well. And he played tackle at JUCO, can play kind of all over the line. I think that, yeah, he's definitely probably the guy that I'm feeling best about, like as our backup right tackle. Have to see. Great question here, Gennaro. Dave, if you were a betting man, which CU freshman will have a breakout year? I'll take this as a true freshman. We're going to go on the defense. London Merritt. That guy has rare athleticism in Twitch, and I see him getting rotational snaps right off the bat. Hey, thanks, D. Nice, man. Buff Blitz is one of the funnest times of my week, so I appreciate it, man. Oh, Will Bucket. I haven't even noticed Von Bell, who played under Rob Livingston. Yeah, he was on the Bengals. I think he's on the Buffs coaching staff. He's been in a couple videos. Dude, this is news to me. More NFL experience. I love it. I'll look into that, okay? Thank you. Hey, God's child, what's going on? Bit late, but happy to come on here, your commentary. I love talking Buffs. You guys are what makes this a lot of fun, man. I love that we can just enjoy all this together. Will Bucket getting has some love for Ron Coleman, I believe number 45 out there. And he's had some good routes, man. Walk on, but a guy that has definitely flashed, right? Another walk on who has made some plays, and man, this cracked me up. Did you guys catch this in a video last week? Gage Goldberg got an interception, and then he ran over to the sideline and said, I finally did something. And then you saw him, I think yesterday or Monday, also get another interception. So, hey, stock up for Gage Goldberg. Stock up for Gage Goldberg, man. I love to see it. And yeah, you've seen Mathis also start to get some reps with the ones as well. Maybe we'll see him this year. Didn't really see him at all last year, but he's another guy that could serve as a returner on special teams as well. And Dante, not a fan of Tion Parks as that second corner for us. Let me know who your second corner is right now. I think at least with what we've seen on video, it's probably RJ Johnson, right? It seems like he's that guy. But I did a video on this, I think, yesterday, and then a video on this last week, man. Tyrekus Davis, all this guy does is make plays. We got to get him on the field somehow. So I think definitely when we're facing 4 wide receiver sets, he has to be out there, right? When we're running dime, maybe some nickel situations, they might like him better than Preston. I don't know. Preston's pretty good too. So Tyreek Davis, man, just get him on the field. He just makes plays. He just makes plays. Yeah, Salter's going to turn over the ball, man. I think he's going to do that. But again, it's just about limiting that. If we have great time of possession, now that we can run the ball, defense is going to be rested. And I'll say it, defensive line is our best unit on the team. Coach Warren Sapp said it the other day. It's not about who's starting. It's about how many snaps you're getting. We got a snap count, right? Or a snap chart, not a depth chart, a snap chart. I think that's what he said. But I am thrilled about what we're seeing out of the defensive line. Even some guys like Alexander McPherson, I'd like to see. One, I like just he plays like a madman, man. Like he really does play like a bully. It was so funny when he committed, last year. He was like, I just want people to know that, I might be like mean on the field, but I'm like a nice, chill guy, off the field. Uh, it was hilarious, but yeah, like it's nice to see him getting chippy with some of these offensive linemen, man. I like the attitude McPherson brings, man. So uh, I really like it. Dennis met Ron Coleman 2 seasons ago when they brought him in for a visit. Great kid. Yeah, it'd be great to see him get some time, man. Definitely would. I disagree with you, Cowboy 5-0, but he's a walk-on, man. There's not really any point to being too upset about seeing these guys. And again, if they're getting snaps over, guys like Isaiah Harge and stuff like that, I don't take that. I really don't take it as favoritism, man, because we didn't even see Mathis get any snaps on offense last year, right? Did he even take one snap on offense? It wasn't much. So nothing to get too upset about, man, with Mathis. Everything's all good. Thinking 10-2 for the regular season conference champions. I mean, that has to be the goal, right? That has to be the goal, going for the conference title, man. And Coach Prime clearly believes in this group. He clearly does. And Georgia Tech, again, it's going to be a great baseline test to see where we're at the start. And I thought we became a better football team as time went on last year. That's what I'm expecting for us as well. Again, it would be great to win that Georgia Tech game. Thank God it's here at home. I think that's going to be really helpful. But yeah, like no matter what happens against Georgia Tech, there's only you can only get better from there, right? And it's awesome. Is this a do or die season for Pat Shurmur? That's how I feel about it. He's probably my coach on the hot seat. Somebody asked me about this yesterday. He's like my only coach right now on the hot seat because I've been pretty, happy with the coaching staff. Coach Hart is now goated, and he's going to get us another like all conference linebacker performance this year. I'm confident, right? Coach Hart's now goated. Marshall Falk, I think, is doing a great job. Seems like our three-headed monster coaching the offensive line has been a nice improvement. We'll see. But Pat Shurmur, it's his job to be creative on offense this year. There is no excuse. We're not trying to win awards and also win games or anything like that this year. Not that there's anything really wrong with that. I wanted Shedeur and Travis to win those awards. It was important to me. But I just feel like there's, you don't have anything not hidden agendas. I'll just say like side quests. You don't have any side quests like that this year, right? So Pat Shurmur, there's no excuse why we don't see a good running game, why we don't see creativity in the offense, yeah. And if he's not getting the job done, we got Byron Leftwich, a Super Bowl winning play caller, right behind him, waiting in the wings. Yeah, Matt's a great route runner, man. And again, I think he's a guy that can just kind of fill in if needed. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I think Quintin Gibson, I still think like Isaiah Harge these guys will outsnap him rather. But man, it's gonna be a fun year, guys. We got 180 people in here, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap this up. Again, please go check out my video earlier today on Shador. If you haven't done that yet, live stream. Oh, I'll get to this one, though. I'm glad you brought this up. Exit, by the way. Otis has been disappointing, has no pass rush moves, and sucks at run stop. I'll say this, man. People are lying to you if they're telling you on these shows, man. They have been, at least a little disappointed with what's going on with Jaheim Otis, man. I felt that way, but I thought that we'd see him flash more. This might just be a transition year, right? We got him for 2 years, hopefully. And this might just be a year to where he's got to buy in, man. But you can see things click with him over time, just like you've seen things click with Anquin Barnes, Tarian Carter, Tafik Thomas. I love Tafik Thomas. I think he's become one of my favorite players. And, of course, Amari McNeil leading that team. But, yeah, I won't necessarily say, I have concern for Jaheim Otis. But I have been disappointed, man, in one of the top-ranked guys in the portal. Another example of, you still got to put in the work regardless of what your rating is. And but I think he's going to get there. I'm not giving up on Jaheim Otis at all. Yeah, he just needs to put it all together. I'm hopeful, like we've seen things with other guys on this defensive line, things click with them. It's only a matter of time for Jaheim Otis, but let's see. Let's see. I think the standard has definitely been raised for him coming out here. We'll see what happens. So, guys, I really do appreciate you so much. I'll be back for Buff Splits. Maybe I'll drop another video in between, but make sure you're subscribed if you haven't done that yet. Again, it helps put food in my belly. Appreciate you guys very much. Go Buffs.